My name is Sarah Elizabeth Friedman. I'm 34 years old, and on February 12, 2025, I died on the delivery table while giving birth to my son. I grew up in a Reformed Jewish family in Brookline, Massachusetts. My husband Jonathan and I had been married for 6 years, and we were ecstatic to welcome our first child. I worked as a high school counselor, and we had just renovated our home a few months before. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. The labor had been progressing well at first. Then something went catastrophically wrong. I heard the doctor frantically say, "Severe hemorrhage," and the nurses started rushing around me. The pain was unbearable, and then nothing, just profound silence. The beeping machines, the shouting, my husband weeping, it all faded away. I was suddenly floating above my body. I could see everything, the doctors working desperately, my husband being gently pulled from the room, blood everywhere, my blood. But I felt no pain, no fear, just a transcendent calm. I watched as the doctor called out, "We're losing her," and I thought, this can't be happening. Not now, not when my baby needs me. Then I felt myself being pulled away, not up through a tunnel like you hear about, but through what felt like a shimmering veil. One moment I was in the hospital room. The next I was elsewhere, a place of light so radiant it should have hurt my eyes, but it didn't. It felt like home. The atmosphere vibrated with colors I'd never seen before, colors that don't exist on Earth. Every breath, though I wasn't really breathing, filled me with life more authentic than anything I'd ever experienced. And then I saw him. He was standing before me, emanating a love so powerful it would have knocked me over if I still had a physical body. Jesus, not the pale, solemn figure from church paintings, but a man with deep, knowing eyes and a smile that understood every part of me. Every joy, every sin, every doubt. I was bewildered, shocked. "But I'm Jewish," I whispered, though I wasn't really speaking. He smiled, and his voice wasn't just heard, it was felt. "I know who you are, Sarah. I've always known you. Every doubt I ever had about God, about religion, about purpose, it all dissolved in his presence. Nothing else mattered. I felt known, truly known for the first time. But this doesn't make sense," I said, my thoughts racing. "We're told you're not for us, that you're not the Messiah. And yet here I am," he said gently. "Your people were looking for a political savior, someone to overthrow Rome. They missed that I came first to save souls, not nations. But I never stopped loving the children of Abraham." I felt a strange mix of comfort and confusion. So Christianity is right. All this time. Jesus shook his head. "No religion has it all right, Sarah. Not Judaism, not Christianity, not Islam. They've all twisted my words for power, for control, for their own purposes." This stunned me more than anything. I thought he would affirm one religion over another. "What matters is the heart," he continued. "I see hearts, not labels, and I have watched my precious Jewish people suffer through centuries of persecution, much of it done falsely in my name. Tears formed, or the spiritual equivalent of tears, the Holocaust," I whispered. His face filled with such profound sorrow it broke my heart. "One of humanity's darkest hours, done by those who claim to know me yet never did." "Come," he said, and took my hand. Suddenly we were walking through what looked like a garden, but unlike anything on Earth. The colors were more vibrant. The air itself seemed alive. "I have something to show you," he said. Before me appeared what looked like scenes playing out, like movies, but more real. I saw Israel. I recognized Jerusalem, the Western Wall, but it wasn't the Israel of today. Something was different. "What you're seeing," Jesus explained, "is what's coming. The world doesn't understand my plans for Israel, for my chosen people." I watched as scenes shifted. I saw conflict, terrible conflict, missiles, destruction, people running in fear. Then something changed. I saw peace coming, but not the way people expected. "The current leaders of Israel," Jesus said, his voice now serious, "have strayed from their path. Benjamin Netanyahu follows the plans of men, not of God." I was astonished to hear him speak so directly about politics, about a leader I had actually supported. "He thinks he's protecting my people, but he's being guided by pride," Jesus continued. The true protection of Israel will come when hearts turn back to me, all hearts. But he's defending us, I argued, surprising myself by debating with Jesus. The attacks, the threats, Israel needs strong leadership. What Israel needs, Jesus replied, is to remember who they are, not just a nation among nations, but my light to the world. Netanyahu chooses weapons over wisdom, walls over welcome. You're saying Israel shouldn't defend itself. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm saying there's a difference between defense and vengeance, between justice and cruelty. His eyes held mine. How many Palestinian children have died, Sarah? Do you think I don't weep for them too? I had no answer. I'd always avoided thinking about the Palestinian casualties. Both sides have blood on their hands, Jesus continued. Both claim to serve God while ignoring his commands to care for the stranger, the widow, the orphan. Then the scene changed again, and I saw something that made me gasp. I saw Donald Trump standing with Israeli and Arab leaders, signing some kind of peace agreement. Many mock this man, Jesus said, but he will be used to bring about my purposes for Israel, not because he understands them, but because I can work through anyone. Trump? I almost laughed. He's controversial. Many Jews don't trust him. And yet, Jesus said, he will accomplish what others could not because of his righteousness. He too is flawed, as all humans are, but because he doesn't play by the old rules, he will broker a peace that seems impossible. When? I asked. During his second term. It will shock the world. I didn't know what to think. I had always been taught that Jesus wasn't for us, for Jewish people, and here he was talking about Israel with such love, such concern, yet challenging everything I thought I knew. There's something else you need to understand, Jesus said, his face serious. The evangelical Christians, who blindly support everything Israel does, they misunderstand my plans too. They use Israel as a pawn in their end times prophecies, without truly loving the Jewish people. I was stunned. So who's right? Those who choose love over hatred, mercy over sacrifice, peace over power. His eyes seemed to look through time itself. The greatest supporters of Israel will be those who hold her to a higher standard, because they truly believe in her divine purpose. The shock will come, he said, when my people recognize me, when the veil lifts, Sarah. It's beginning already. He showed me scenes of Jewish people around the world having dreams and visions, questioning, searching, finding him. I'm already appearing to many in Israel, he told me. Rabbis, soldiers, ordinary people. They're seeing me in dreams. Some reject it, but others are beginning to question everything they've been taught. That will cause chaos, I said, thinking of how destabilizing such a revelation would be. Yes, he nodded. But new birth always comes with pain. This is why you're here, Jesus said, to witness this and bring back this message. But I'm nobody, I said. I'm just a counselor, a new mom. Who would believe me? He smiled again and touched my forehead. In that instant I felt his love pour through me, like a transformative river. You are mine. That's all that matters. Your testimony will reach those it needs to reach. Then he showed me my son, my beautiful baby boy whom I hadn't even held yet. He was healthy, crying vigorously in the arms of a nurse. My husband was there, his face torn between joy at his birth and devastation at what was happening to me. Before you return, Jesus said, I want to show you one more thing. The scene shifted again. I saw religious leaders, rabbis, pastors, imams, gathered together, not in conflict but in respectful conversation. This too is coming, Jesus said, a time when the walls between religions begin to crumble, when my followers stop fighting about who owns me and start living as I taught. But that seems impossible, I said. The divisions are so deep. With men it is impossible, he replied, using words I somehow knew were from Scripture. But with God, all things are possible. Then he showed me something that shocked me more than anything else so far. I saw the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and standing there, a new temple, the third temple, which religious Jews have prayed for centuries, would be rebuilt. It will be built, Jesus said, following my thoughts, but not as a place of animal sacrifice, as a house of prayer for all nations. But I struggled to find words. That's the most contested piece of real estate on earth. The Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa Mosque. Yes, he said, what seems impossible to men is possible with God. There will be a solution no one has thought of yet. Then he showed me a series of events, natural disasters, political upheavals, technological breakthroughs that would revolutionize the world in the coming years. I saw America deeply divided, then somehow healed. I saw climate changes that would make parts of the Middle East unlivable without new technology that Israel would pioneer. I saw discoveries in Jerusalem that would shake the foundations of all three Abrahamic religions. The world is entering birth pangs, Jesus explained. Painful but necessary for new life to emerge. When? I asked again. Some has already begun. Some will unfold over the next 7 years. By 2030, nothing will be the same. He turned to me then, his face more serious than before. Sarah, you must tell them something else too. Tell them that the greatest threat to humanity isn't climate change or nuclear war or economic collapse. It's spiritual blindness. People who think they're serving God while serving their own power and prejudice. That'll make a lot of people angry, I said. Truth often does, he replied simply, but it also sets free those who are ready to hear it. He placed his hand over my heart. Your rabbi will reject your story. Your family will worry about your mental health. Christians will try to claim you as proof they were right all along. Muslims will say you had a hallucination. Each will try to fit your experience into their box. What should I say to them? I asked. Tell them I am bigger than their box. Tell them I love them too much to be who they think I am. Then he showed me specific people, individuals who would hear my story and whose lives would transform because of it. Some were Jewish, some Christian, some Muslim, some with no faith at all. Each had a unique journey ahead, but my story would be a turning point for them. He needs his mother, Jesus said gently, looking back at the image of my baby. And the world needs your story. I didn't want to go back. How could I leave this perfect peace, this love? It was everything I'd ever wanted without knowing it. Please, I begged. Let me stay with you. Sarah, he said, and the way he spoke my name held such tenderness it broke something open inside me. I understand your reluctance. Heaven is home, but your mission isn't finished. Will I see you again? I asked, suddenly desperate at the thought of losing his presence. I will never leave you, he promised. Not for a moment. You won't see me as clearly as you do now, but I'll be with you. When you pray, I'll hear. When you speak of what you've seen, I'll give you word. He took my face in his hands and looked at me with eyes that held the universe. Your time will come, Sarah, but not yet. Go back. Tell them what you've seen. Tell them about my love for Israel. Tell them the truth that will shock many. I never stopped loving my first chosen people. I never will. I felt tears on my cheeks, though I didn't have a body to cry with. Will I remember all this? Will I be able to find the words? I will help you, he promised. And one more thing, don't let them silence you. Not your community, not religious authorities, not anyone. This testimony is your purpose now. Even if it costs me everything, I asked, suddenly afraid. Especially then, he said gently. Now go. Before I could say anything else, I felt a violent pull. The peace was gone. The light faded. Pain rushed back in like a flood. I gasped, choking on the breathing tube in my throat. She's back. We've got a rhythm. Beeping machines, shouting. My eyes flew open to blinding hospital lights. Doctors and nurses surrounded me, their faces masks of shock and disbelief. One nurse crossed herself. Another was openly crying. You were gone for 11 minutes, Mrs. Friedman, the doctor told me later. Clinically dead. We tried everything, and then your heart just started beating again. We can't explain it. When I was stable enough, they brought my son to me. They placed his tiny warm body on my chest. Noah. We named him Noah, which means comfort in Hebrew, because that's what we'd been given. A second chance. Grace. I didn't deserve. The next few days were a blur of tests, visitors, tears. My husband couldn't stop touching my face, my hands, as if making sure I was really there. At first I was careful about what I shared, just the basics, that I'd experienced something while I was gone, that I felt peace, but the full memory was there, crystal clear. Unlike most NDEs where details fade, mine was sharp, precise. I remembered every word Jesus had spoken to me. I don't claim to understand politics. I can only tell you what I was shown, that God's plan for Israel is bigger than any political leader, Netanyahu, Trump, anyone. That peace will come, but through reconciliation no one expects. If you're watching this and you're Jewish, please know this: Jesus, Yeshua, never stopped loving you, never stopped loving us. The separation was never his doing. If you're not Jewish, please understand God hasn't forgotten his promises to Israel. What's happening there matters to heaven more than we know. If you're Christian, hear this: your theology about Israel may be wrong. Supporting Israel doesn't mean supporting everything its government does. And Jesus cares about Palestinian children just as much as Jewish ones. If you're Muslim, I have a message too. Jesus told me he appears in dreams to many of you, that he loves you deeply. That peace will come when we all recognize we worship the same God, just through different lenses. And if you're struggling to believe any of this, I understand. 1 year ago, I would have been the biggest skeptic, but death has a way of revealing truth. I died on that table. I met the Messiah my people have been waiting for, and he sent me back with a message that has already begun to unfold. Open your eyes, watch Israel, watch for the unexpected. The shock isn't just what I saw, it's what's coming. Recognition, reunion, restoration, and it's already beginning.